Spawning in the bottom right of Berlingrad. It is our red Terran player playing for Team Envy. This is Bunny.
That's an early 2 barracks being placed down and scouting out for a proxy. Of course, is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Hero. Or is that a proxy scout? Oh, stupid me. Of course it's not a proxy scout. That's for a proxy pylon.
He was scouting where he wanted to put his proxy. Like, I believe you. I still think you're right.
Yeah, he was like, hey, I can get 2 things done here. I can scout if I'm getting proxied, and I can also set up my own. That's the smart. But we do have an interesting build here from Bunny, actually, who is going for the 2 racks in his base. Is going to be producing 2 Reapers and sending those across the map.
Well, that's a bit of an interesting gambit here. I mean, you see a lot of that in, well, like TVZ, but TVP? I mean, it could be still effective. Obviously, those Reapers can deal a lot of damage to probes, but, like, interesting. What?
Oh, I know what this is. I mean, there's 2 options right now. Hero is either going to go for a Glaives all-in or a Charge Lot all-in here on 2 bases. I love this from Hero. I mean, Hero always brings such innovative play to TVP. He always brings such fun stuff that's like, it's a good mix between, you know, your Zest, which is like crazy, but, you know, Zest perfects the build. You know, he perfects the timing. And then also a mixture between that and Haas's Bunny. That Reaper is getting really close. That Reaper might... Oh, no! Bunny doesn't scout it, as it's actually going to be Blink. So Bunny... I mean, it's not going to be the Charge Lot all-in that I thought it was going to be, but it's going to be a really fast Blink timing here for Hero.
I mean, the whole course of this game changes if he scouts that proxy setup. But now, now it's just like... potentially just mission critical, as the Depth going to get the absolute shot of her life picking off that first Reaper. Because now all of a sudden this is much less scary. You're not going to be able to one-tap workers, and all of the scouting information is gone. But the only thing that Bunny would notice is, where are all those dang pylons at?
Yeah, I mean, where's the pylon? Where are the units? What is the tech? He didn't see anything in the main base, and that oftentimes is more of a tell than anything. As the Adepts trying to chase this down, the Reaper's actually being corralled towards the proxy, and they're going to see it. As Hero, unfortunately, shooting himself in the foot there. Bunny now knows that there is some sort of tech being researched on a Twilight Council, as these Reapers are going to get caught on out. One will still survive, but Bunker's going to go down, and Bunny, well, he's just going to be sitting pretty on 2 bases here and preparing for what will eventually be some pressure coming out from Hero.
Yeah, I think the high ground vision now is going to be a really critical aspect of this situation here. So is Bunny going to be able to prevent Blink Stalker from being able to jump up onto the high ground? And I think right now, well, I guess Sentry's out, so that means there is going to be high ground vision if Hero wants to provide it. But I think Bunny's going to be in a slightly better position just overall. He's going to be way more prepared for this. There are going to be a swell of units coming across the map, but in all reality, I mean, the production cycles are still pretty low. What, we're at 1, 2, 2 gateway, the 3rd gateway just about finished up here, and we really don't have a large stalker count. It's just 2 right now, and they're both back at home.
I mean, for Hero, this is... I mean, unfortunate start for sure, but that's a very early 3rd Nexus to try and make up for it. He knows that Bunny has to play defensive in case that he does attack here with something. But I think Bunny's pretty happy with that. I mean, Bunny is just producing Marines, getting tanks, stim, combat shields +1. Bunny's going to be preparing for a very strong timing attack regardless of what Hero does now.
Yeah, it's all the way... a forward motion here for Hero, and Hero's got something to back off to as well if for some reason he can't make this work. But he does have the high ground vision with the hallucinated Phoenix if he wants to try and make it happen. But Bunny already knows that this is here. If he blinks forward, that is going to be a terrible error. But fortunately, Hero's like, what if I just like pull forward a little bit further? And he prevents himself from just mass executing his own stalkers here. So tank on the high ground will rotate down, and Bunny right now with a very, very clean hold so far. No damage.
Nah, Bunny is, I mean, just really happy with how this has been going so far. Yeah, it's just been pretty much a perfect read on the situation. The scout came through. Bunny has just been preparing for everything. And Hero, I think, has done the smart thing off of this, which is, hey, I'm going to take a really fast third. I'm going to probe that up, and then I'm just going to get into a really strong gateway army for when your push comes out, which I think should put him into at least a decent position here for this game. But you still, I mean, this push from Bunny is going to be so strong when it eventually comes out. Marines, Marauders, Stim Combat Shields +1, and that Concussive Shell as well will be finishing up around the same time. It's going to be a whole lot of Terran, and it's going to be a whole lot of very, very strong Terran.
Yeah, I think Hero needs to respect this and be really, really cautious on how he moves forward. The production isn't quite there yet. He's on 5 gate, working up to 8 gate, but he's got to be able to hold back the overwhelming forces here of Bunny, because right now it's a double army supply count here moving out for Bunny, and it's a lot of army that's going to tackle Blinkstalkers pretty well.
And the tank here. It's just, it feels like Bunny has so much to work with. And Hero, you've tried to get back into this game very, very nicely. You've had the right idea for it, but is that going to matter? I do like the Zealot counterattack. Again, all the ideas are here. The Zealot counterattack, the fast third base, but is it really going to matter as this mineral line is going to be under fire? The tanks are sieged pretty far away, and Bunny is actually having to bring back a few units, get some into the bunker to deal with these Zealots. He's still trying to find an opening to try and attack here at the front.
Ooh, I like this, actually picking up the tanks into the medevac here. He's going to scan and try and locate this army.
Oh.
This is a very bold siege, but I don't think that's going to pay out for him. The Stelots immediately get on top of both tanks here. That's going to get caught out. A force field going to separate this army up into a couple of different pieces, and while Bunny does have still the statistical advantage, 68 army supply to 34, a couple of the pieces that really stapled this army down are no longer available.
Yeah, that was such an aggressive siege with the tanks. It feels like that was a little bit of a mistake from Bunny. Didn't expect the army to be right there. And so now, once again, his army's going to get caught on out. Does he have the boost to try and save him? There we go. Is going to get the army out. Now has Widow Mines joining in. And Hero supply has started to plummet as Bunny is trying to use this push to its fullest. And he should be able to, as there's not a lot left. The shield battery overcharge was used to pretty much refill the shields on all these units. And now that new medevacs have joined, you have some hit points that are added on. Some great refocusing of that Widow Mine. Another one as well to get all the shields off the Zealots. That means they're all going to fall, and that should be the game. Bunny, I mean, just perfectly handling this situation.
Oh, yeah, that was perfectly executed. Widow Mine picking off the Forge, so +1's not going to be on the table anymore. This is a dead Nexus. Well, I'd say that, and here come a whole swell of Zealots on the way up, but look at that tight micro. Bunny moving forward with game number 1 over his opponent. The Protoss player who needs to win one back if he wants to have a chance to qualify for Code S in the winners final here in Group D. Needs to win 2. First Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is Hero.
And in the top right, from Team NV, looking to close this out swiftly, it of course is the man with the most fluffy of names, Bunny.
Bunny. Hi. Hey, this is Rushi. Not sure if you know this, but your base is over here, and you seem to have built your first building over here. I know that can be very confusing. This might be your first or second time playing StarCraft, and I totally get it. It's fine. It's understandable. Very embarrassing, but don't worry. We won't tell anybody. But it's just one. Just one proxy.
Just a single one.
Just a single, just a little proxy. Not a lot of proxy. I mean, like, your big dinner's coming up, and you don't want to spoil your supper, but you have a little bit of a snack. Just a little bit of proxy. Just a nibble. And I think it's going to freak Hero out just the same amount.
Yeah, I mean, Hero has to go for the Zealot immediately. Cybercore, of course, is going to go down, but really altogether, this is your standard response. You know that there's nothing more than this. You should see the factory going down at home, unless that is also proxied, but Bunny does not appear to be in the mood for any of that. Is instead just going to lock this probe on into the base, continue to chase it down as the Reaper is going to finally come on out. We should see a second one produced from this, I believe, although it's going to be a Marine. It's just going to walk its way across the map. And yeah, I think this was just a proxy to scare Hero, but honestly, if that was the case, I feel like you should place it a little bit closer. just in terms of the build order and how you want it to work. Floating that barracks back across the base is just going to be such a hassle when it's that far away.
Ooh, and actually, responding in a in-kind way here, dropping a bunker early on. So anticipating maybe a little bit of a follow-up push, especially since, Zealot walked all the way across. The Marine and the Zealot going to pass like 2 ships in the night. They'll never see each other, but not realize how close they were. And yeah, Bunny has done what he needed to, maybe offset his opponent just a little bit. But I mean, the early Nexus is still an interesting choice here for Hero. He's not really locking himself out of a bad transition option here. Additional gateway, though. That's kind of an interesting tale.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised because usually what I would expect from Hero off of something like this is to immediately go into a proxy pylon, Stargate, and some Void Raids, but it appears as though Hero has remended his ways. He says, listen, I don't want to risk that in a game where everything is on the line, where I can qualify. I want to play this standard. I absolutely can respect that as a second gateway is in production. Never mind Rushi, he wants to be aggressive. What am I talking about? It's Hero.
I was going to say, I'm looking at this going like, I keep punching the numbers on the calculator, Titan, and I can't add this up to where it's not going to be aggressive. But you know, I was ready to believe. But what I think is interesting is it's just going to be very basic gateway tech here. So we're not going to get any additional boost off of the Twilight Council, at least not in the short term. I mean, if it's going to come up, it's going to be delayed by a significant amount. And what I did think was kind of interesting, and I don't know if you noticed it, but it was an Oracle hallucination. Obviously, like, still dispelled of as if it were a hallucination, but okay. So I keep having my expectations subverted here time after time. But this is a very, very quick third base.
I feel like Hero is playing mind games with everyone. Like, not only with Bunny, but with us and with himself. He's like, what am I going to do? Maybe I'm going to put down extra gateways, but what if I put down a third base? I think that's a bit sneaky. That might get them tripped up. But yeah, I mean, Hero right now is actually being, I think, as greedy as you possibly can, because that is a fast third Nexus, a Twilight Council, and a Forge. And of course, Bunny's playing safe. He's like, hey, I proxied my barracks. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to try and attack, you know, get out on the map. He had a few stalkers out. That's not the case. Hero has a large army, but that's about it. He's not actually going to use it for anything.
Yeah, I mean, that could play into his advantage or his downfall as well if he's invested so many of his resources early on here into trying to secure that army. It could be a problem, but he is, reinvesting his probe count right now. He's adding additional workers. Now that third Nexus is going to be finished up. That's going to be a huge economic influx here for him in this particular game. What could be a problem, though? Hear me out. The Raven with a decent amount of energy. And that seems to be the case right now, but I think this is definitely going to surprise Bunny. This is not what he was expecting to find here at this point, but he'll drop the auto turret all the same.
Yeah, we'll drop the auto turret. Sees it and says, well, okay, that is definitely a bit unfortunate because right now he doesn't really have any option for pushing out. He has Stim, he has +1. That's it. He doesn't have any ability to immediately punish this, and that means that realistically, Hero should be able to get up to a very, very solid work count, probably to around 60. You know, fully saturate that third base, add on these 5 additional gateways, get charged +1 armor, and have an extremely strong timing attack against Bunny, who's the one who, in this situation, usually would be the one, hey, I got 3 racks. I'm going for, 745. I'm going to look to be aggressive. I don't know if that's really going to work out because right now it seems as though Hero is really trying to propel himself into a situation where he's the one that can start to apply pressure on the map.
I think the thing that kills me is how even with a third base here fully saturated, Hero and Bunny are only separated on worker count by 8. So, I mean, there's a little bit of oversaturation happening here and some additional gases for the Terran player, but like the fact that they're staying that close together is rather remarkable for sure. So Bunny getting the additional tech on the way. I wouldn't be surprised to see this small bio force start moving out here rather soon. I mean, for getting his stim pack and combat shields at the same time, he's sure taking a lot of time to get his bio forces all put together. But that's going to be another auto turret that deals a little bit of damage. Oh, a little clever microing back and forth. Does limit a little bit of the damage there. 3 have gone down. But that was a medevac that did not find any damage at all. So, or at least very minimal. Only a couple of workers off the top here. But there is a little bit of chaos as both players trying to harass into various mineral lines. But it seems as if it's like 2 could play at that game at all times. But just constantly chaos across both sides of the map here.
Yeah, his heroes just apparently moved a lot of his units to the natural base here to try and get some SCV kills. Has managed to knock down a few, but lost a lot at home as well. The third base had a few get knocked down in the main, and now this drop is trying to be annoying in the natural. Bunny really trying to spread hero thin as this. Oh, Widowmine shots! Gonna get rid of the warp prism, and now suddenly Bunny in a pretty good spot. 126 supply, has his upgrades all coming through. But of course, you have to say, well, you know, it's 3 bases fully saturated here for Hero. He's working on his +2 armor on his Blink. He's going to have such a strong ground army. If this attack doesn't hit soon, luckily Bunny is looking to move out.
Yeah, the reinforcements here for Hero are coming in a little bit slower. There's, I think, a little bit better exchange there, getting some additional zealots. Going to use some to run by, which I think will, you know, that will kind of time out pretty well if Bunny doesn't catch wise of this as he tries to set things up. But he's going to go build there. This might be intercepted. No, the rallies kind of intercept themselves there. So that's going to turn Bunny back home. That's actually probably the best outcome that Hero could have asked for, because for the amount that he sacrificed, he sure pulled a lot more supply back home.
Yeah, I mean, this attack from Bunny could have been so deadly. Again, it was hitting before +2 armor was done. He had +1. He had, an army that was much larger than Hero's, but you need to deal with that counterattack. You need to be able to get rid of it, and that means that behind this Hero has extended his worker lead to 11, which is, I mean, right now, pretty massive considering the fact that Bunny has only just now established his 3rd. The fact that Hero, I mean, again, is working with so many gateways. Bunny's supply is massive. He has a huge army, but he's just not doing anything with it.
Well, this actually might be kind of spooky, although the army here is going to be able to reinforce. So both players trying very hard. Trying very hard to disrupt each other, and Bunny going to be able to be the more disruptive player here. But the 4th base already drops here on the bottom corner. There was a scan. I don't know where, but I heard it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So top left. So I think Hero's actually doing a really nice job of kind of drawing Bunny away, but unfortunately this rally here on the right-hand side is going to be just enough to knock this down. So 4th base is going to be difficult to defend, although a little bit's going to be here, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
No storm available for that Templar. He's going to be trying to fight with his water balloons. You do get a few feedbacks there onto the medevacs. It's going to be brought over, and nice storm drops to try and get some damage. A lot of damage going down onto the zealots, though, at the same time. But mind you, behind this, behind all this distraction, behind Hero buying time, you know, Bunny splitting his units, trying to find openings, trying to look for where the bases are, because he doesn't have a lot of scouting information. Guess what? Hero's been macroing up. Hero's finally on even bases, or Hero's finally on an even supply. His army is catching up. His work has always been ahead. Those are some great storms to try and delay this army. Getting so much value as Bunny's coming in for the full surround, and I think Hero, you're caught a little bit out. Does have storms available to try and zone out this army. Some good force fields. Where's that last storm not being used just yet? I don't know if that High Templar quite has the energy for it. The Focus Fire going down. It does look like it is there, but Hero not pulling the trigger on it yet, continuing to try and fight this position, getting so much value here. Finally, it is used up, and I mean, Bunny just, his army's not able to collapse on in. He's being kept at bay here at the rear as Zealots were warped on in, and that means that he's just lost so much.
I mean, this was such a weird engagement here. Hero was completely surrounded on all sides, and I think from a number standpoint should have been overwhelmed, but somehow managed to make the most of it with his army. His Templar that had all of that storm energy actually got EMP'd by a ghost towards the very end of that engagement. So it wasn't for the lack of Bunny's effort on his part, but just very good engaging here by Hero. If we take a look at the units lost tab, it's been a really, really even exchange here for these two players, which I think all things considered, gives Hero a huge advantage in this situation as he's been able to counter Bunny and his tricks at every step of the game.
Yeah, I mean, 20 workers ahead now for Hero is in an absolutely amazing position. He's going to try and collapse on in here with Zealots and Archons. Not going to try and bait out those shots. Instead, just going to regroup his army. +2 is finishing up here for Bunny, so the upgrades are going to be even. Both of the +1 upgrade with the +2 upgrade is, it's just that the army now for Hero is larger. He's been able to scale up and just really macro into a great position. His Guardian Shield is popped, and well, you just don't have enough here as Bunny to defend his position. The tank is going to go down. The Storm drops not even going to be used. Hero says, actually, I don't need that. I just have enough to push you back. And now going to try and chase down this army. High Templar dropped out. The Storms come through. Archon is warped. And Bunny, I mean, you're trying to hold on, but there's some great play. GG. Hero going to tie it up.
Top right, Hardwire, our red Terran player. For Team NV, this is Bunny.
And sending out 2 rather early probes. It is the man who is always so sneaky with his builds, and that is a very close gateway. It's Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Hero.
I'll do the same thing. Hi, Hero, Rushi. Okay, like I know this seems weird because you're like, okay, I built my first buildings up at the ramp. I could do it. But we're talking this ramp. Not this one. What are you doing? Come on. We know DPG taught you better than that. Do better.
You're not Haas. you're not a part of prep gaming. What is this? Place your buildings where they're supposed to go. But oh god. Oh no. As the second barracks has gone down for Bunny, so he's once again going to go for this 2 racks at his home base. Just at home, just the casual 2 racks from your base. But interestingly enough, this isn't the first time I've seen Hero do this build. He did it against Beyond. It didn't work out in that game, but what he actually did was he went the gateway, Cybernetics Core at home, and then he was like, hey, what if I also proxied my Stargate right in the middle of the map, right in the middle of the scout path? Needless to say, it didn't work, but a very interesting situation regardless. And we'll see if he does it again.
I too like wondering about stories that in the end did nothing. Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, like, it could though, guys, it could.
It could work.
It could.
Yeah, interestingly enough, here's my question. Because Bunny's going for this 2 racks where he's scouting out with his Reapers, is he actually going to scout this proxy? Because he sees this first Zealot, and then he sees the second one that's now in his natural, and he's like, wait a second, what's going on? Is he going to scout the regular walking path across the map? Because there's now 3 Zealots.
I mean, why would you look somewhere so normal as the dead center of the map? Why would you ever consider looking there? I mean, yeah, like this is the reality. Like Bunny, okay, he's gonna go back home because he sees the units, but I'm like, yeah, Bunny's gonna scour every like right-hand corner and the traipse around over here. Like, you don't think to look here. Like, that's just not a thing that you do. But, like, he needs to come home and address this because this is starting to get a little bit scary here. He's going to be able to pick off the worker on the bunker. And that's, that's going to be a lot of damage on the supply depot. And the coverage on the supply depot is going to be a little bit messed up as well because he can't stack the workers on top of it because of the bunker. This is actually going to be dangerous. The wall's going to go down. And there's no units here to sit inside the bunker right now. So one Marine, okay, one Marine's going to do a little bit of damage, but it's not going to stop the Zealot that's running around. So he's got to find a lot of damage back at home here. So it looks like a recall's going to come down on the Stalker. So Stalker's going to come back and fight. And as long as Hero can kind of isolate this and stop this out, he's got him pinned. That's a complete pin in the back there. That Cyber Core was the hero in this defense. Hero in an amazing position.
21 workers to 17. Blink is on the way. This Zealot is still slowing down mining for Bunny. Will finally be eliminated. But I mean, it's slowed down Bunny so much. He hasn't been able to mine. He was pulling workers. He had so many that were killed. And now, I mean, behind this Hero, natural base is being placed. Is that natural base? I don't see it on the production tab, but I assume that's a natural base for Hero. Yeah, it is on the way. Oh, that's done. Sorry. But it has the robotics facility, has Blink, more gateways, and now Hero can just really go into this, a really strong Blink timing, and he knows that he's going to be ahead of his opponent.
I mean, you're going to be able to out-micro non-stimmed Marines with Blink Stalkers all day long. Like, Hero can just make sure that he casually goes back to make sure that probes are building and that his buildings are progressing the way he wants to. But as long as there is no stim, like, there's no problems. You're talking about no buildings, no problems. This is an even better version of that.
Absolutely. 3 more gateways on the way. I think this is 5 gates in total. There is going to be a very, very strong all-in here from Hero. I've seen him. He's tried to make this 5-gate Blink Stalker work so many times. I've been skeptical of it every single time. And we'll see if it works out this time. Actually, it's only 4 gates. Maybe it's only 4 gates. And, you know, if it's 4 gates, it's going to work. 100%.
I mean, I think the timing potential is there for Bunny, but I mean, Bunny's going to, like, he really needs to, like, salvage his economy right now. He is down 8 workers. There's mule production, so it's going to be fine. But he really needs to stabilize here. Getting out a medevac. He might actually try to move out on this and try to make something happen here. Throwing down a 3rd barracks as well, so somehow squeaks out a 2-on-1 as a result of this. A couple of tanks and a medevac actually could be really deadly here for Bunny if he gets in the right position.
Yes. We're going to see the move out here from Hero. He has the Warp Prism now. And, I mean, this could be really, really dangerous. Bunny does have tanks, which is, I mean, the nice part of this. You got tanks. Ooh, sees the medevac as well. If he's able to catch out these units here, that's exactly what he's going to do. Gonna try and catch out these tanks. The Warp Prism is scouted, and Bunny has a strong army, but in a straight-up fight without those tanks being sieged up, that's where it starts to get a little bit messy as both these players you're trying to find like a killing blow, some sort of micros. That is a super dangerous load up on that medevac, as ooh, the final loadout will come. The blink backs are just gonna be used to save the individual stalkers as Hero is trying to micro this to the best of his ability. The tank on the high ground is actually being retreated away, and that means the stalkers are just gonna blink up and get on top of it. They can also snipe the stim pack, and that is a massive upgrade to get.
Oh, what a great kill here by Hero. That's going to really limit things, as those Marines are just continually not going to be able to do anything more than just zone at this point. The Warp Prism just hangs out. It knows it doesn't have to worry. It just chilled there. I wouldn't have been surprised to see Hero try to warp in up on the high ground again, but Stalker's going to try and punch at the front. Now we do get a blink up once again, but yeah, that stim pack is so far away from being done. Here come the aggressive warp-ins. There's going to be a tank in the back, and I think Hero's got to make sure to respect that so he doesn't just lose all of these units by accident. And a few of those Zealots actually soaked up a lot of damage there. What do we have, 20 worker kills? That's insane.
Yeah, this has been so much damage so far. Stalkers at the front, Stalkers in the main. Just getting so much damage. The singular SCV tries to trade it back, but honestly, not really quite being worth it. I mean, so far, Hero just getting so much damage done with this. Snipes the bunker, backs on out. The stim pack is finally being researched, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a chance to snipe it away. As the Zealot's being dropped down to soak up the first tank shot is, oh my Hero. That was such a nice play. Now he's going to be able to pick away at the Marines. The SCVs have to be pulled once again, and you're already down 16. This is just not a good sight for Bunny.
Here's another not good sight for Bunny, a completed 3rd Nexus. Meanwhile, Hero is continuing to put tons of pressure on. He jumps forward one last time, picks off the last tank. These workers are not going to be allowed to continue working, at least not without harassment. This base is still damaged. These Marines still don't have stim until just about right now. They're going to be able to complete that. At the 8-minute mark, Hero has done everything he can to keep Bunny pinned back, and he has been all kinds of successful. He's at a full saturation on his 3rd base. He's got 52 workers. Titan, I don't know what Bunny can do to get back into this.
I mean, I don't know if there's much. Hero right now is in such a good spot. I mean, you're even on army supply, but you're down in workers by 19. It feels, at this point, like it's just a matter of time. I mean, Hero, as long as he doesn't just throw away his entire army, really should be able to just win this game, as more SCVs are going to go down. This is just Hero being just peak annoyingness with these Protoss units. Lifts up, gets on out. And right now, I mean, that's a 4th base going down for Hero. He's at 3 bases, fully saturated. There's just so much going for our blue Protoss player. And for Bunny, well, he's struggling to get above 70 supply right now.
I mean, and he's going to have a difficult time ever trying to get out of his natural base expansion. As another tank's going to go down, just to a zealot walk by. They're not even sprinting. They're just taking off.
Oh.
Yeah, great force field pinning back all of those Marines. This is going to be critical damage that I don't think Bunny can recover from. Warping's happening back behind the mineral line. Workers get pulled off of both the mineral lines. Units are just falling left and right. And Bunny, with no major response across the map, doesn't have what he needs to stop Hero back at home.
GG, Hero. Going to be the first one to advance to GSL Code S, and that means that Bunny is going to be knocked down to that loser's final.